1888 സെപ്റ്റംബർ 5-ന് മദ്രാസിലെ തിരുവട്ടാണിയിൽ സർവേപ്പള്ളി രാമസ്വാമിയുടെയും സീതാമ്മയുടെയും മകനായി ജനിച്ചു. സാമ്പത്തിക പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ മൂലം സ്കോളർഷിപ്പിൻ്റെ സഹായത്തോടുകൂടിയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം തൻ്റെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം പൂർത്തിയാക്കിയത്. 1896, 1990 കാലഘട്ടങ്ങളിൽ ക്രിസ്ത്യൻ മിഷനറി സ്കൂളിൽ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം നേടി. 1900 മുതൽ 1904 വരെ വെല്ലൂരിൽ പഠിക്കുന്നു. 1902 മെട്രിക് പരീക്ഷ പാസ്സായി മദ്രാസിലെ ക്രിസ്ത്യൻ കോളേജിൽ MA പൂർത്തിയാക്കി. 1905 തൻ്റെ 16-ാം വയസ്സിൽ അദ്ദേഹം വിവാഹിതനാകുന്നു. 1916 മദ്രാസ് റെസിഡൻസി കോളേജിൽ അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് പ്രൊഫസറായും പിന്നീട് അതേ കോളേജിൽ പ്രൊഫസറായും സേവനമനുഷ്ഠിക്കുന്നു. ഡൽഹി കോളേജിൽ ചാൻസലർ, ബനാറസ് ഹിന്ദു സർവകലാശാലയിൽ വൈസ് ചാൻസലർ എന്നീ നിലകളിൽ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചു. പാരമ്പര്യം, മതം, തത്വചിന്ത എന്നീ വിഷയങ്ങളിൽ ധാരാളം ലേഖനങ്ങളും പുസ്തകങ്ങളും എഴുതിയ ഒരു നല്ല എഴുത്തുകാരൻ കൂടിയായിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹം. 1923 മുതൽ 1927 വരെ ദ ഫിലോസഫി ഓഫ് ഉപനിഷാഡ്സ്, 1924 ആൻ ഐഡിയലിസ്റ്റ് വ്യൂ ഓഫ് ലൈഫ്, 1932 ഈസ്റ്റേൺ റീജിയൻസ് ആൻഡ് വെസ്റ്റേൺ തോട്ട്സ്, 1939 ഈസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് വെസ്റ്റ് സം റിഫ്ലക്ഷൻസ് എന്നിവയാണ് പ്രധാന കൃതികൾ. 1949 മുതൽ 1952 വരെ സോവിയറ്റ് യൂണിയനിലെ ഇന്ത്യൻ അംബാസിഡറായി പ്രവർത്തിച്ചു. 1952 ഇന്ത്യയുടെ ആദ്യ ഉപരാഷ്ട്രപതിയായി തിരഞ്ഞെടുത്തു. 1952 ഭാരത് രത്നയ്ക്ക് അദ്ദേഹം അർഹനായി. 1952 സ്വതന്ത്ര ഇന്ത്യയുടെ രണ്ടാമത്തെ രാഷ്ട്രപതിയായി അദ്ദേഹം ചുമതലയേറ്റു. 5 വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് ശേഷം അദ്ദേഹം രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തിൽ നിന്നും വിരമിക്കുന്നു. 1975 ഏപ്രിൽ 18-ന് തൻ്റെ 86-ാം വയസ്സിൽ ഹൃദയസ്തംഭനം മൂലം അദ്ദേഹം ഈ ലോകത്തോട് വിട പറയുന്നു. സ്വയം ചിന്തിക്കാൻ നമ്മെ പ്രേരിപ്പിക്കുന്നവയാണ് യഥാർത്ഥ അധ്യാപകർ എന്ന് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രശസ്തമായ വാക്കുകളാണ്. തൻ്റെ ജീവിതകാലം മുഴുവൻ അധ്യാപകനായി തുടർന്ന അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ആദരസൂചകമായാണ് സെപ്റ്റംബർ 5 അധ്യാപക ദിനമായി ആചരിക്കുന്നത്.
ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട അധ്യാപകരെ, പ്രിയ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെ, അക്ഷരലോകത്തേക്ക് കൈവഴിച്ചുയർത്തിയ ഗുരുക്കന്മാർക്കായി ഒരു ദിനം. ഇന്ന് സെപ്റ്റംബർ 5 ഇന്ത്യ മുഴുവൻ അധ്യാപക ദിനമായി ആചരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇന്ന് ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ആദ്യത്തെ ഉപരാഷ്ട്രപതിയും രണ്ടാമത്തെ രാഷ്ട്രപതിയുമായ ഡോക്ടർ എസ് രാധാകൃഷ്ണന്റെ ജന്മദിനമാണ് അധ്യാപക ദിനമായി ആചരിക്കുന്നത്. വിദ്യാഭ്യാസമാണ് ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സമ്പത്ത്. ഒരു കുട്ടി, ഒരു അധ്യാപകൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു അധ്യാപിക, ഒരു പുസ്തകം, ഇവയ്ക്ക് ഈ ലോകം മാറ്റിമറിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും. ഇത് മലാല യൂസഫ് സായിയുടെ വാക്കുകളാണ്. അധ്യാപകരുടെയും വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിൻ്റെയും പ്രാധാന്യം മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ ഈ വാക്കുകൾ മാത്രം മതി. ഓരോ അധ്യാപകരും ഒരു കുട്ടിയെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം വലിയ പാഠപുസ്തകമാണ്. അറിവിൻ്റെ മഹാപ്രവാഹമായിട്ടായിരിക്കണം ഓരോ അധ്യാപകനും വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുടെ മനസ്സിൽ സ്ഥാനം പിടിക്കേണ്ടത്. ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി എൻ്റെ എല്ലാ അധ്യാപകർക്കും ഒരു നല്ല അധ്യാപക ദിനം ആശംസിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ നിർത്തുന്നു. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.
Hello friends, wishing you all a very happy Teachers' Day. In India, Teachers' Day is celebrated on 5th September and Guru Purnima is mostly celebrated in the month of July. Teachers' Day is celebrated to mark the birth anniversary of Sri Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, who was the first Vice President of India and a great teacher. Without teachers, it is almost impossible to imagine growth in our life, whether educationally, mentally, or intellectually. In the words of Saint Kabir, the value of teacher is more in comparison to God, and we must be thankful to our teachers. Teachers can be a school teacher or spiritual guru who shows the path towards God and enlightenment. A teacher is a great source of knowledge, prosperity, and enlightenment by which anybody can be benefited. Teachers are the gifts of God who make our career and guide us towards success. Teachers make their students academically strong and they always encourage their students to do better in their life. Teacher is also called as Guru, and in ancient times there were Gurukuls where students used to live and attain knowledge from Gurus. Teachers' Day and Guru Purnima are the days dedicated to the teachers for their dedication and hard work they spend in shaping the lives of their students. I'm concluding my little presentation by saying that from today onwards, let us all take a pledge to respect, love, and understand our teachers. Thank you.
Biology first. I know it's better at the beginning.
A happy Teachers' Day to all my dear teachers. Today, I would like to share the story of a teacher who changed the life of her student. We all are familiar with the story of Helen Keller, the girl who suffered from being blind and deaf. But what most of us doesn't know is that without the patience, guidance, and friendship of Annie Sullivan, Helen Keller would never have been transformed into such a successful woman. Keller was born completely healthy but was robbed of her vision and hearing when she was 19 months old. She had no idea how to understand the world around her and to communicate her wants and needs. This is when and why her tantrums and behavior problems started, which made her family so desperate for help from an experienced teacher, Annie Sullivan. As like Keller, Annie Sullivan had an eye disease when she was 5 years old, which left her blind and scared. She was being abandoned by her father at a very young age. Later, Sullivan was sent to live in an overcrowded, underfunded group home for much of her young adult life. Eventually, she began to capture the attention of others and with help underwent an eye surgery to improve her condition. Then made leaps and bounds and was entered into the renowned Perkins Institution, where she ultimately became the best candidate to teach 7-year-old Keller, who so desperately needed guidance in her sheltered and secluded world. All great teachers know that in order to get a challenging student to learn, sometimes you have to break away from rules and must never be limited by them. After trying formal lessons and adhering to a strict schedule with Keller, Sullivan knew that it was the time to shift the focus of her teaching. After all, she knew what it was like to live in the dark world. Like all students, Helen responded to Sullivan's creative approach of teaching. In just 6 months, Keller learned 575 words, the Braille system, and her multiplication facts. Later in her life, Sullivan was able to help Keller learn French, German, Greek, and even Latin. Keller even wrote an autobiography named The Story of My Life and became the first deaf and blind person to earn a Bachelor Arts degree. So thrilled with Keller's successes, so she continuously studied other subjects to teach Helen. Sullivan wanted to make sure that Helen had numerous opportunities and her thirst for knowledge was quenched. Despite doctors' warning, Sullivan read dozens of books that contained information which she felt would be beneficial for Keller, despite the rest and care that her own impaired eyes needed. Helen Keller has said that the most significant day that she remembers in her life is the one in which her teacher Annie Sullivan came to her life. Later in life, when Annie Sullivan became ill, her grateful and beloved student was present at her bedside, holding her hand as she passed away. Sullivan was not just a teacher to Keller, but a role model, mentor, friend, and a mother figure because she helped Keller grow into a mature and selfless person. Keller followed her mentor's footsteps and became a compassionate adult who decided to work for all the deaf and blind peoples as well as for the less fortunate people. Many teachers measure their professional success not just by test scores alone, but with how they touched their students' life in some way and made them a better human being.
Once, a math teacher was teaching to a class of 6 years old. She asked a boy, "If I give you one apple and one more apple, then how many apples will you have?" Within seconds, the boy confidently replied, 4. The teacher was expecting an effortless answer, 3. She thought maybe the boy hadn't listened to the question carefully. So she said to the boy, "Please listen carefully this time. It's very simple. You will be able to answer correctly if you pay attention." Then she repeated, "If I give you one apple and one more apple, then how many apples will you have?" This time, to be sure, the boy counted on his fingers and hesitatingly replied, "4." Listening to wrong answer again, the teacher got disappointed. Her disappointment could be seen on her face. She remembered that the boy loved strawberries. She thought maybe if she changed the question and used strawberries instead of apples, then maybe he'll pay attention and answer correctly. This time, with exaggerated excitement and twinkling eyes, she asked, "If I give you one strawberry and then one more strawberry, then how many will you have?" Boy calculated on his finger again, and with hesitating smile, he replied, "3." Teacher was happy. Her approach worked and the boy was able to answer right. So once again she asked him, "Now, if I give you one apple and one more apple, then how many apples will you have?" Boy promptly answered, "4." Teacher was aghast. "How? Tell me?" Teacher asked with irritated voice. In low and hesitating voice, the boy innocently replied, "Because I already have one apple in my bag." When someone gives you an answer that is different from what you are expecting, it is not necessarily they are wrong. There may be an angle that we may not have understood at all. We need to learn to appreciate and understand different perspectives. Quite often, we try and impose our perspectives on others and then wonder what went wrong. A teacher is a person who can learn and understand different perspectives.
Everyone, today I'm going to say about the inspiring story of Savitribai Phule, the first woman teacher in India, who went on to set up the first school for girls in Bidwada, Pune. She was born on 3rd January 1831 into a family of farmers in Naigaon, Maharashtra. Savitribai was married of at age 9 to a 12-year-old Jyotirao Phule. Her thirst for learning impressed her husband, who then taught her to read and write. After that, she went on to train at Mrs. Farrar's institution in Ahmednagar and Mrs. Michel's school in Pune. During those days, women were not allowed to step out of their home to work. So when Savitribai used to head to school every day, she was verbally abused and pelted with rotten eggs and cow dung by orthodox men. So her husband then handed an extra sari. She would walk to school, receive all the dirt that was thrown at her, reach school and change to a clean sari. By 1851, she was running 3 schools for 150 girls students. Savitribai is an iconic figure of Indian women who truly understood the meaning of liberalization as long feminism became fashionable. She broke yet another taboo when she led the funeral procession of her husband after he passed away in 1890. She carried the mud pot herself and led the procession. When Pune was hit by plague in 1897, she carried a 10-year-old boy from Mandwa to the clinic. The boy recovered, but Savitribai caught the infection. She breathed her last in March 1897. So, I'm concluding my words by saying that every Indian woman who is educated today should feel grateful and indebted to Savitribai. Thank you.
Too big. I'm right. Like, it was like.
Happy Teachers' Day to all my dear teachers. Teachers' Day is one of the most memorable days in the life of the teacher and the student. It is a day when teachers can relax and talk to their fellow teachers. Unlike the entire year, when they are working hard for several hours every day, they work during school hours as well as after school hours all over. Teachers take their best efforts to turn the students into responsible citizens. Teachers play a very important role in each one of our lives.
Dear teachers, more than a year ago, you, along the rest of the world, experienced an unprecedented change in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Many of the adjustments to your lifestyle, classrooms shifted from in-person to remote learning amid social distancing guidelines. The transition was abrupt, unclear, and uncharted. Pivoting into a digital classroom meant you had to think and learn quickly, and you delivered with grace and grit. In a short amount of time, you adapted the curriculum to new teaching platform and tools that you previously had no experience using. You taught lessons during the day, making it sure to also form a personal connection with each young face so they felt seen and supported. But your unwavering contributions continued into the late evenings behind the scenes, whether spending countless hours to learn innovative teaching techniques for ensuring that every student has access to curriculum, troubleshooting digital tools for families of varying technical literacy, or taking parent-teacher calls into the evening hours to share your students' progress. You went above and beyond. Right now, we are learning social-emotional skills that no curriculum could account for. They are so flexible thinking and perseverance in action. You are finding ways to connect with students and their families, even as trying to take care of yourself and your own family. We are learning empathy and compassion from you, a skill that we all are learning and practicing in our life right now. You are learning new ways of presenting information and trying to make it so that every student can access it. You are figuring out what teaching looks like when school has become schooling. Teachers, we know that you have longed for a return back into the classrooms when it is safe, just as much as students and families do. For all these reasons and more, thank you for going above your call of duty. Thank you for sticking with us throughout this tumultuous year and greeting each one with a smile every morning. Thank you for creating an environment of safety and regularity in our days. Thank you for communicating with our families beyond your normal working hours. Thank you for your patience, empathy, and perseverance. We see you and salute your selflessness. I wish you all a happy Teachers' Day.
September 5 is observed as World Teachers' Day. I am going to say a thought about Teachers' Day. Though you wrote in black and white, you brought color in my life. Happy Teachers' Day to all my dears and lovingly teachers.
Best teacher, teach from the heart, not from the book. I wish all my lovely teachers who had taught us from the bottom of their heart a very happy Teachers' Day.
This is a day on which every teacher feels like that she is the only one who is going to attend, and it's only happened.
A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite imagination, and instill the love of learning. Happy Teachers Day.
Good teacher is like a candle, it consumes itself to light the way for others.
This is a day on which every teacher feels like he is the only one going to attend, and it only happens.
If there were no teachers, all other professions would not exist. Happy Teachers Day.
May I come in, teacher? This is what we call Tarun, right? Were you late, Sania? I don't get the bus. It's okay, my dear. Get into the class.
So this is what we have studied, right? So who's the main protagonist in the story? The main protagonist in the story is what? What is his name? Tarun. Why Tarun was so sad? Yeah, his parents always used to make fun of him. This make him so sad and annoyed. Right?
So look into a chapter.
What are you doing, Sania?
Sorry, teacher.
Hmm.
Okay, my dear, sit down. Just listen to the chapter. Excuse me, teacher.
What, Sania?
What is this, my dear?
Dear teacher, thank you for continually inspires me to do my best. You help me to strive for goals. I found guidance, friendship, discipline and love, everything in one person, and that person is you. Happy Teachers' Day.
to all our beloved teachers. We are feeling so grateful and happy that even though we are in a new normal situation, you are with us. We may not say this every day, but your inspirational words are like beautiful footprints in our heart and mind forever. Thank you for inspiring us every day. You help us to strive for our goals. The effort you are taking for us is really impeccable. As we celebrate Teachers' Day, we would like to thank every teacher who has been our guiding support. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all the teachers. Thank you.
जिसने भी कल भी आज भी राह पर चले तो राहबर बने वही ताम जिसने भी कल भी आज भी राह पर चले तो राहबर बने वही वो मेरे टीचर थे तुम्ही मेरे टीचर हो तुम्ही वो मेरे टीचर थे तुम्ही मेरे टीचर हो तुम्ही मुझको मुझ में ढूंढा दी नई पहचान नन्हे से परिंदनी ऊंची बड़ी उड़ान ऊंची बड़ी उड़ान ऊंची बड़ी उड़ान मुझको मुझ में ढूंढा दी नई पहचान नन्हे से परिंदनी ऊंची बड़ी उड़ान दूर उस गगन में उड़ते फिरते गाते तराने हम तुम्हारे गुनगुनाते वो मेरे टीचर थे तुम्ही मेरे टीचर हो तुम्ही वो मेरे टीचर थे तुम्ही मेरे टीचर हो तुम्ही
The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. Happy Teachers' Day to all my teachers.
You are thoughtful.
You are enthusiastic.
You are amazing.
You are caring. You are hardworking.
You are encouraging.
You are remarkable.
You are enthusiastic.
Yes, you are